Yo, what is good, guys? Your boy Miklik. Welcome back to another Haikyuu Fly High video. And yes, we are hosting another giveaway. Once you join the server, link will be in the description and the comment section. Head to giveaways, and then you'll see there's another $25 gift card giveaway for 3 people, and it ends in 2 days. I might increase it because I'm making this video pretty late. And if you want to enter, just click this button. You'll be right into the giveaway, and that's about it. This video will be discussing about free-to-play lineups turning into future lineups, which could semi be free-to-play, but still manageable to get under certain conditions. And stuff is bound to change because depending on the meta later on in the future, you have to switch around and then adapt to it. Also, I talk about Nekoma team combining with Kuroo, and then Kuroo on his own with other teams like Fukurodani, Inarizaki, and every other team that has a full team synergy in the game. So there will be timestamps on the video if you just hover your mouse over or your finger. Hopefully it works. If not, everything will be in the description, so you can check out all the timestamps for each single team I mentioned. And I just realized I'm recording one on my mic with full bass, so it's too late now to reset that, and I'm not going to repeat this video. So hopefully you guys found this helpful, and maybe it helped you choose the right team, and it helps you plan for future characters. So a quick bonus lineup. We have the new SP Kuroo with the new SP Tsukushima and just the SP Kenma. Added this here since SP Kuroo was confirmed, and I know his movesets and skills, but it's bound to change, so there's no point of me making a whole video talking about his skills, because if it changes, then the whole video is completely pointless. Not like I haven't done that before. But I'm pretty sure you guys can run this team when SP Kuroo comes out. You combine them with obviously Kenma and then Tsukushima, and I'm sure they're going to have a bond. You have Korai here to maintain Sakusa's critical play, and then you have Komori as the lib to bond with Sakusa, because with Komori's bond, everyone gains 20% more receive. And then you can leave it off on Ushijima, and I know the question is this free to play? Yes, this is free to play, because if you already have Ushijima, you're already set. You could save and do your multis here and there to get the extra free tickets, and so you could also stack up your pity. Once you do that, there's a huge gap so you could get Korai and Hirogami, because each month you have enough gems/stickers to get an UR, so getting Korai and the Hirogami duo is completely possible. And then after those two, there's a huge gap for you to get Kenma, and after Kenma, there's a huge gap for you to get Sakusa and Komori, and then we know there's going to be reruns, and then after that should be Tsukushima, and after Tsukushima, I'm pretty sure there's a rerun, but either way, then SP Kuroo comes out. The only thing that worries me is the Tsukushima and Kuroo part, but based off the timeline of the gaps, we should have enough for both of them either way, but I'll leave that for you guys to check the timeline, because this is a lineup video, not a timeline video, but I still think it's possible. If you don't have Ushijima, there's going to be a rerun, or you could use Osamu. But once you get Osamu, it turns to less free to play because you have less time to save. But it depends on your luck too. So keeping it like this should be free to play manageable. So this could be your future lineup if you're planning on using Kenma and Kuroo. So the first lineup we have is this lineup that I already showed in my previous video. We have a full Karasuno team synergy with Kenma and Kuroo. And we also have Izumi here just for a solid wing spiker. There's a lot of stuff you could change here, and it's honestly preference depending on what characters you have. For example, if you don't have Daichi, you can always use Mad Dog here, but you could also use Ushijima because a lot of people actually have Ushijima, and you could combine it with this team. But if you don't have Ushijima, Daichi is perfectly fine because he gives more receive percentage, and it's crucial for most teams, and considering the fact that Kuroo and Kenma are more defense based, it's a very good sync. You can also replace Izumi with Furukuchi, and considering the fact that we have Tsukushima and Kuroo who have very good block percentages, and the fact that Tsukushima provides debuffs to power and quick attacks, Furukuchi has 2 passives that grant block percentage as long as he's on the court, so it's very defense reliable, and he can increase his ultimate skill by Kuroo, and you will see your block defense increase by a lot. And this is completely free to play because a lot of people have different variations of this team, so it just depends on what you're running. Now this is where we head to an actual Nekoma based team where we have Yaku, Kenma, Lev, and Kuroo. You fully unlock the Nekoma synergy, and then you have Izumi and Mad Dog, and then you have Tanaka as a solid wing spiker because he could fit honestly into most teams. But just like the other lineup, you can do a lot of switches depending on who you have. You could replace it with Furukuchi, and then replace Mad Dog with Ushijima, and then you can leave Izumi here, or if you don't have Izumi, you can have Tanaka. So the same thing goes, Furukuchi with the block boost, and then he can increase his ultimate skill, and then you have Ushijima for more main power, and then you have Yaku with the perfect defense, plus you got a solid wing spiker with just full Nekoma synergy. So this is a very good lineup when Yaku comes out. And lastly, we got another Nekoma team synergy where we have Yaku, SP Kenma, Lev, and Kuroo. As I showed in the beginning of the video, whenever SP Kuroo comes out, you can always add SP Kuroo here, and then you can still have your full Nekoma team synergy. But whenever SP Kuroo comes out, you probably have the first lineup I already mentioned if you're following the Kenma and Kuroo route. But this could be another essential free to play one since we have 2 SRs, Lev and Yaku, and we have full team synergy here. And then we have Korai here maintaining Sakusa's critical, and we have Ushijima as our very good opposite hitter, so he's just going to be a solid tank nonetheless. And that's pretty much it. You can obviously tell it's similar to the first lineup I showed, and this is technically a budget lineup, but it's also for the people who love running Nekoma. So next we got a solo lineup with Kuroo. This is literally a Day-Tech team with a Day-Tech synergy. And then we have Nishinoya and Tanaka, because again, this is free to play. So most of us do have a lot of these characters, especially if you picked up Kuroo. And this is just a variation if you didn't want to pick up Kemna. Maybe you want to disable for maybe the Inarizaki team in the future, or maybe just a Fukurodani team, or whatever team you have in mind. Completely free to play if you want to pick up any of the SSRs you have right now. You essentially have 5 Great Walls with Kuroo and then Furukuchi once again. Then you have Awa and Kaga and the Sassman. So all around, you're going to have insane block defense. It's honestly an annoying team. So this is a perfectly fine free to play team that you guys could use, and it's just annoying to have. Also, speaking about the Maya Twins, here is an Inarizaki lineup that you could use with Kuroo. Again, free to play, so there's a lot of stuff that people could change. For example, you could have changed Furukuchi with Korai, and not saying that's not free to play. I do think it's possible with the right amount of saving because of the UR for each month, and also luck. So this is possible. If you have Korai, you have a chance of getting Hirogami, and then, you know, it switches on, and then, you know, then you have an Inarizaki team right here. But again, in the future, it then turns into Sakusa with Komori, and then you have this essentially. But I technically just showed a many things that most people use, so we could go back to the Akagi, Kita, and the wing spiker as Furukuchi, and middle blocker as Tsukushima, just for worst case scenario if you're completely free to play. This could essentially work. Again, the more characters you get, like Korai and stuff, you can add it to the team as I showed, especially if you like the twins. So here we have a combo with the twins, and then we have Kitsa that gives another bond, and the bond increases perimeter percentage, and then also increases attack technique for Osamu. Okage is also good when it comes to debuffs because he could debuff power hitters. He also has pretty good coverage and can increase everybody's defense technique over a certain amount of time. Again, I feel like this team might differ to a lot of people. You could also switch Furukuchi with Izumi or Tanaka, but if you want to have main defense with blocks, Furukuchi is always the way to go. But this is essentially an Inarizaki lineup with Kuroo and Tsukushima and Furukuchi. But nonetheless, you still get the team synergy, and it's actually very, very good. It kind of looks like we're tossing in UR Kuroo whenever we get the chance to, but UR Kuroo is pretty flexible and he could go into a certain amount of teams. Like, for example, this one. Plus, it basically looks like the lineup I showed in my other video, so there's nothing much to talk about. You don't actually need Gosh here. You could actually have Gosh with Ohira. In my opinion, I found Ohira more valuable because of the defense boost that you get for the team. And if you don't manage to get UR Oikawa, which is highly unlikely, you could always replace it with Oikawa SSR, but that's highly unlikely. You will lose some bonus effects like with Izumi and Ushijima, but it's very unlikely that will happen because you probably are going to manage to get UR Oikawa. So essentially, we have a Shira team with the whole team synergy, and it's stuff we already saw before, so this is why it's just a quick overview. Some people actually managed to get Ushijima and Kuroo as a free-to-play, but if we're speaking on accurate free-to-play levels, getting Ushijima and Kuroo would be a little difficult. It'd probably make you avoid Kuroo and then just save for Oikawa, if that makes sense. But nonetheless, if you're free-to-play, you could run this. It's essentially just the same as other ones, but you place Tsukushima with Kuroo. That's about it. And lastly, we got a Fukurodani team, and honestly, this is a sorry-ass looking team, I can't even lie. But I know it looks a little crowded, and it still works because Akagi actually gives morale boost, and so does Gosh. And don't worry, I actually got a better free-to-play version with Nishinoya and Tanaka. They have a bond that gives morale boost to the whole team. So yes, it also works pretty good because of the morale boost that Tanaka and Nishinoya gives. Obviously, Akagi and Gosh give morale boost on their own, so it technically applies more. But for a free-to-play team, this works perfectly fine. We have Kashi, Tatman, and Kono with UR Bukuro to apply the Fukurodani team synergy, and then we have our boy UR Kuroo here. And again, just like I keep repeating, in the future this team will change. For example, UR Kuroo won't even be in the team. UR Kuroo will be replaced with Hirogami. Nishinoya will be replaced with SP Nishinoya. Akashi will be SP Akashi. Bokuro turns into SP Bokuro, Tatman turns into SP Hinata, Wing Spiker turns into Korai, and then opposite hitter honestly turns into Daichi, or it could be Ushijima, most likely Daichi for more back defense. And Akashi doesn't even stay, it could also be UR Kageyama for both power and quick attack skills. So nonetheless, it could look like this. So this is why later on in the future, stuff might not look the same, and it may be confusing for you free-to-play players. But nonetheless, you guys can have this in the back of your mind, and then choose the Tanaka build that I already had. So hopefully I explained everything perfectly. I'll go more in depth to free-to-play lineups in the future whenever more units come out. Or probably just make one just because I feel like it. But hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. Make sure to join the Discord for the giveaway. Leave a like and subscribe. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.